Imagine having two AI experts, dedicated just to your private research notes.
Right.
They break it all down. They generate this interactive podcast.
And you can literally call in.
You can call in and ask some questions in real time.
That is the absolute peak of personalized learning. It really makes complex stuff stick.
Welcome back to the deep dive. So last time we focused on the creation side of things with Google's free AI. Today, we're shifting gears.
Completely.
We're all about research, learning, and real-time assistance.
Exactly. We're going to unpack these really sophisticated free systems. Think of them like your own personal research team. We'll get into agentic deep research, a tool called notebook.LM.
Which is incredible.
Oh, it's a game changer. And then real-time AI vision and even some advanced features that are kind of hiding inside tools you already use, like docs and sheets.
Okay, so let's start there with deep research in Gemini Advanced. The source material uses this word, agentic. What makes a model agentic versus, a standard search?
Well, it's the difference between asking a librarian for one book versus hiring a research assistant.
Okay.
An agentic model doesn't just give you one answer and stop. It's like an independent agent. It actively starts searching, it cross-references what it finds, and it keeps synthesizing over time.
So it's making its own decisions about where to look next.
Precisely. You give it a big, complex question like the effectiveness of different carbon capture techs since 2023.
Right.
And it just goes. It starts pulling from academic papers, reports, articles, and it connects the dots as it goes.
And critically, it's checking the claims.
It's verifying, yeah. That part is so important because it minimizes the risk of, drawing a conclusion from just one biased source.
Yeah.
The output feels less like a chat and more like a real consulting report.
And that structure is key. You get an executive summary, findings, citations for every claim. But the part that really stood out to me was the notes on conflicting information.
That's the gold right there.
Yeah.
Most AI tools kind of smooth over disagreements. Deep research actually highlights them. That's essential for any kind of serious strategic planning or, say, market research.
So this sounds pretty exhaustive. I mean, should I just skip regular web searches for anything complex now?
I'd say use deep research when you need that depth. Where synthesis and conflicting views really matter.
Okay, so we've gathered all this amazing data with deep research. Now, how do we actually make it stick? Let's talk about Notebook.LM.
If deep research is the gatherer, Notebook.LM is the refinery. It's at notebooklm.google.com, and it's a completely free, private workspace for your research.
And it can handle a ton of material. The source says up to 50 sources, something like 25 million words.
It's built for scale, yeah. And it takes PDFs, docs, website links, and this is huge for learners today. It automatically transcribes and analyzes YouTube videos you upload.
The core concept here, for trust, seems to be this thing called RAG. Can you break that down for us?
Yeah, RAG stands for Retrieval Augmented Generation, but all that really means is the AI answers your questions only using the sources you uploaded.
So it's a closed system.
Exactly. It grounds the AI in your facts, which basically minimizes it from making stuff up. It makes it trustworthy enough for, real academic work.
I still wrestle with prompt drift myself sometimes, where the AI just starts wandering off.
Oh, we all do. So the fact that Notebook.LM forces it back to the source material every time feels like a huge step for accuracy.
It is. That verification loop is fundamental.
Now, what about retention? Let's talk about the transformation features. How does it turn all my documents into study materials?
This is the magic part. It instantly generates quizzes, flashcards, mind maps, even full reports, all from your content.
But the feature that connects back to our intro, the really wild one, is podcast mode.
Right. It creates an interactive podcast where two AI hosts, two experts, discuss your research.
And you can call in.
You can literally interrupt the podcast and ask a question.
Yeah.
So if they're talking about RAG and vector databases, you can just jump in and say, hold on, can you explain what a vector database is?
And the AI host will just answer. They'll answer you naturally, define it for you, and then they'll just seamlessly go back to their high-level discussion.
Whoa. I mean, imagine scaling that. Personalized learning for 1 billion research queries a day with that kind of interaction.
It's a different paradigm.
Okay, so with all that context for my documents, does Notebook.LM prevent the AI from making up facts?
Yes, that's what Aura does. It grounds answers in your documents and minimizes any fabrication.
That feels like a good transition from deep personal research to more immediate, real-world help. Let's talk about Gemini's voice mode with vision.
Yeah, this is where the AI becomes truly multimodal. It sees what you see through your camera and talks to you about it.
It's like a collaborative partner.
It really is. The smartwatch example from the source is perfect. You point your phone at a watch, ask about it, and the AI doesn't just say, that's a watch.
Right.
It identifies the exact model and pulls up detailed research like, hey, that's a Galaxy Watch 4, and it might not get software updates in 2025. That's real context, instantly.
That is incredibly useful. But are there limits?
Mhm.
Like, does it fall apart if the lighting is bad or if it's not some well-known product?
That's a fair question. For something with a barcode or a known model, it's very accurate. If you're pointing it at, I don't know, a weird antique in a dark room, your results might vary.
Mm-hmm.
But the practical uses are still massive. Show it the ingredients in your fridge, ask for a recipe. Or point it at 2 products on a shelf in a store for a quick comparison.
Or for fixing things. You can show it a broken part and ask for guidance. It's moving past just recognizing an image to helping you solve a problem.
Exactly. It's a genuinely collaborative partner processing what it sees in real time.
So this makes the AI assistant feel less like a search box
And more like a real
and
person.
more like someone standing right there with you.
Correct. It acts as a genuinely collaborative partner processing visuals and context in real time.
Okay, let's take a quick break.
We'll be right back. Sponsor.
And we are back. So if Notebook LM is the trust but verify research space, AI Studio is where you get to get under the hood.
Yeah, this is for the power users who want to pull the levers themselves. And there are 2 features here that are just essential for serious users.
What are they?
First is side-by-side model comparison. So you can run the exact same prompt across different Gemini models, like, say, Pro versus Flash, and see the difference.
For someone new to this, what's the quick difference between Pro and Flash?
Think of Pro as the heavy lifter. It's for deep, complex reasoning. Flash is built for speed, for quick chat applications. You compare them to find the right balance for what you're trying to do.
Got it. And the second feature is temperature controls. This is basically the creativity slider.
Yeah, that's a perfect way to put it. A low temperature, like 0.1, gives you very predictable, factual answers. You'd use that for summarizing meeting notes or writing code.
Where you can't have mistakes.
0 mistakes.
Huh.
Then a high temperature, like 0.9, is for maximum creativity, brainstorming.
So if I'm trying to come up with a new company mission statement, I'd start with a high temperature to get a bunch of ideas. And then I'd drop the temperature way down to refine the final wording.
You start wide, then you narrow for consistency. That alone saves hours of back and forth.
Then there's this feature for learning new software. Stream real time, the screen sharing with live guidance.
It is basically a free tutor watching over your shoulder. You share your screen, you talk to Gemini, and it walks you through things step by step.
The Canva example they gave was great. A user asks how to remove a background. They click on the wrong button.
And Gemini sees the mistake on the screen and says, nope, not that one. Click over here. It corrects you based on live visual input.
That's an amazing feedback loop for mastering unfamiliar software.
It's transformative, yeah.
Yeah.
For corporate training, for just learning a new skill on your own. It's huge.
So does this live guidance only work with Google's own software?
No, not at all. This tool is designed for learning things like Canva or, even those obscure settings in Excel.
Okay, so we've covered the big standalone tools. Let's talk about the AI that's woven into the things we use every single day. The hidden AI.
This is Google's biggest advantage, I think, this seamless integration. We can kind of group them into, say, data and document mastery, and then communication accelerators.
Let's start with data and document mastery.
Google Sheets AI formula generation. This is a massive time saver. You used to have to know all this complex syntax.
Oh, I know it well.
Now you just describe what you want in plain English.
So instead of trying to remember some nested average function, I can just type, get the average of column C, but only where column A says sales.
And it just builds the formula for you. It democratizes data analysis.
Yeah.
And in Google Docs, the Drive file references are huge. You type the A at symbol, and you can instantly pull quotes or figures from another document in your Drive right into the paragraph you're writing.
So no more having 3 different windows open, trying to copy and paste between a report and your source node.
Exactly. It keeps everything consistent.
Okay, now what about those communication accelerators?
Gmail and Meet are the big ones here. In Gmail, you've got thread summarization, which turns a 20 email chain into a few bullet points.
That's a lifesaver.
It really is. And contextual search, where you can search by description, like find that email about the Chicago hotel from last June, not just keywords.
And Google Meet's features.
Mm-hmm.
They're basically replacing a lot of paid assistant tools now.
Totally. Auto-generated summaries and action items are now standard. It frees up the person who was stuck taking notes to actually participate. And don't forget AI mode in Google Search itself, which lets you have these long conversational searches without opening 50 tabs.
So out of all of those, which integrations do you think save the most time for the average person doing complex work?
I'd say the Sheets formula generation and the docs references, those are massive accelerators for complex tasks.
Stepping back from all of this, the overall strategy seems pretty clear. There are really two big takeaways from our deep dive today. First, Google is offering these top-tier free AI models across every category that matters.
Text, research, vision, all of it.
And second, that AI is so deeply woven into the ecosystem you already use, Docs, Gmail, Search, that you might not even notice it's there.
And those capabilities, the ones we just talked about, they replace dozens of expensive paid tools. And they're just available to everyone right now.
The limitation isn't cost or access anymore. The tools are free, they're powerful. The only real limitation is just your knowledge of what's out there and, your willingness to explore a bit.
Absolutely. So our challenge to you is to pick one of these tools. Maybe it's trying Notebook LM's podcast mode or just generating one formula in Sheets. Try one today.
See how it can accelerate what you do.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us as we dove deep into the source material on this one.
We'll see you next time.